Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. It is Sunshine Lorena and I'm finally filming my anticipated releases from July to September. So guys, we're into a new quarter of the year. I am filming this now in July, so I am late on this. I prefer to kind of get these up very end of like the previous month. But yes, covering off new releases that I'm anticipating over the next few months. A couple of these have just been released, but gonna put them on your radar anyway. This quarter, there is a lot of very intriguing thrillers coming out. In general, I feel like thriller authors, like the big ones at least, tend to seem to release them in July. I'm going to be going over Riley Sager, Ruth Ware and Lisa Joel, who all have thrillers coming out now in July. So there's other authors releasing thrillers. There's a romance on this one as well. It is a very thriller heavy release quarter. So I'm just going to kick it off. Now the first one, I actually have a physical art copy in my hands. I have already read this. If you follow me on TikTok, you would have seen also Instagram because I posted some of the content there, but I read this as part of Tandem Collective's read along. I was so happy I got selected to join and read this one. They sent me a copy just for my honest opinions. This is a YA thriller. I will give you my opinions in a moment once I've given you the synopsis and shown you what the book is. And it is They're Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington. And guys, this comes out on the 27th of July. This is just so good. Okay, so good. So this is Squid Games meets The Inheritance Games. I've not read The Inheritance Games, but I know the premise and I definitely see where the links came in. And then also a little bit of The Bachelor, it says on the back, but those Squid Game vibes. So there, this is just, it is so good. So we are following our main character, Adina, and this is at the very end of like high school. So she goes to this really like rich posh high school. She's there on scholarship if I remember correctly, so she isn't like one of the rich kids. The school is full of the rich and the powerful. It's very much not her like usual circle and vibes. She's been going to school with these people, and her parents, or at least one of them, teaches at the school as well. She's at a point where she has been kind of outed and outcasted out of like kind of these groups. A former friend at this point, she ended up getting into a fight with them and it was reported, and she had her scholarship and acceptance into a top college revoked. And so basically everything at her moment is like her world is kind of falling apart because she literally has no idea what she's going to be doing after school. However, there is this competition called The Finish that is done by invite only, and it's for girls in their very like last year at high school. It is hosted by the richest, most influential family called the Remingtons, and the prize is like they help you essentially. I think they basically help you and give you kind of what you want. So for her, this is super important. She ends up getting invited along to it, and this is her chance to get back her life that's been falling apart. And so she's going to be taking part in these games called The Finish. I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but guys, this is so good. You will literally trust no one in this book, and I mean no one, okay? You think, oh, maybe they're too bad. You will not trust anyone in this. Great character development. Straight in there with like the people that you hate, creating enemies. It is intense. It is incredible. It is amazing. I give it 5 stars, guys. You should get this when it comes out. And also I just saw that it has, I can't remember what company it is, but someone has picked up the rights to make like either film or TV series, and this would be incredible, guys. It will be incredible as an adaptation. It's just so good. Like, you just need to read it. I don't want to say any more, but like you really need to read it. I absolutely love this, and I just feel like it is going to be one of like the biggest books of the summer or of the year, because it is really, really good. So I recommend get this one, read it. It's amazing, incredible, and once you do, and yes, I really hope that she writes a prequel. There's like 2 prequels that I would love to see her write based on what I read in this, one of which obviously is the very first games. Another one is games of a particular person that we see in this as well. I think that would be amazing if she does that. I hope you watch this and you do that. But yes, that's it. I really need to tell you about these other books, but this top pick out of this whole list, and that's why I'm doing it first. The second one on this list is another thriller, and that is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. And as of you watching this, this is already out. I was approved for the art copy, which I'm currently reading, and I won't have finished it by release date, but that is fine, no problem, guys. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting into it, getting the feels, enjoying the mystery. Riley Sager always releases a book, it seems, now in July, and this is his latest release, and what I've seen from reviews, it has been good so far. So in this one, everyone believes that Eleanor Hope is a mass murderer. The Hope family are massacred decades ago, and she was the only one that was left after this tragic incident. She's now like in her old age, she is mute, she is silent, she is stuck in a wheelchair. We've been able to tell her side of the story, but everyone believes that she is the murderer. There was never enough evidence to convict her, so she wasn't proven innocent or she wasn't proven guilty either. However, her story hasn't been told until now. Her new living caregiver, Kit, brings her a typewriter. With the one working finger, Leonora starts to type. I want to tell you everything. So we are gonna get her story. At this point, I don't know, because I'm not too far into it, but it's so good so far. Like I said, some good reviews. It sounds amazing. Like I said, it's out 4th of July, so it's out now, guys. It's out now. On to the next big thriller of the summer, and that is by Roofware, 0 Days. And this is out on the 6th of July, so if I edit this quickly, this should be up before it's out, guys. It might just be afterwards. It depends how my life goes with my editing. But again, she seems to release a new book like Riley Sager every July. I read her last one, It Girl, last summer. I got approved for the ARC. I didn't apply for this one because I have a lot of ARCs at the moment. I'll be honest with you, last year that Girl it wasn't that great for me, but it just really depends with her if I absolutely love it or I don't, because Turn of the Key, 5 stars. It Girl, like 2.5 stars, so we'll see. I'm just going to read the synopsis here. So, hired by companies to break into buildings and hack security systems, Jack and her husband, Gabe, are the best penetration specialists in the business. But after a routine assignment goes horribly wrong, Jack arrives home to find her husband dead. To add to her horror, the police are closing in on their only suspect, her. On the run and out of options, Jack must decide who she can trust as she circles closer to the truth in this unputable down and heart-pounding mystery from one of the best thriller writers around today, Roofware. So yes, I am intrigued by the premises. I always love kind of when there's been like a murder and then somebody's on the run and you're trying to find out what really happened because it wasn't them. So it sounds really good, and I will read this at some point and I'm looking forward to it. Then the next one on my list is Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've read a couple books for her. The one that people know most by her is Mexican Gothic, which is a horror, due to come out on the 18th of July. This one says a blend of Mexican horror movies and dark occultism is what it says here. So it's a little bit of a mix. For some weird reason on NetGalley they have it as sci-fi and fantasy, even though that line doesn't seem like it's sci-fi and fantasy. I'm gonna check Goodreads, guys. Okay, and on Goodreads this one is classed as horror, thriller, mystery, a little bit of crossover genres that we're getting. So this one, Montserrat has always been overlooked. She's a talented sound editor, but she's left out of the boys club running the film industry in 90s Mexico City. And she's all but invisible to her best friend Tristan, a charming if faded soap opera star, even though she's been in love with him since childhood. Then Tristan discovers his new neighbour is the cult horror director Abel Urita, and the legendary amateur claims he has a way to change the lives, even if his tales of a Nazi occultism imbuing magic into highly volatile silver nitrate stock sounds like sheer fantasy. The magic film was never finished, which is why Urita swears his career vanished overnight. He is cursed. Now the director wants Montserrat and Tristan to help him shoot the missing scene and lift the curse, but Montserrat soon notices a dark presence following her. As they work together to unravel the mystery of the film and the obscure occultism who once roamed their city, Montserrat and Tristan might just find out that sorcerers and magics are not only the stuff of movies. It's maybe also giving like a little bit of fantasy vibes. It depends how this one pans out, but it sounds really interesting. I really enjoyed Mexican Gothic, so this one does seem like it's gonna be really good. The next on my list is Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. This one comes out in August, the 3rd of August, finally an August released on this list, and this is a thriller. Alice Feeney, I have read Daisy Darker by her and I really enjoyed that thriller kind of mystery book, so I really do enjoy writing and looking forward to this one. So sometimes bad things happen to good people, so good people had to do bad things. 20 years after a baby stolen from her pushchair, a woman is murdered in a care home. Two crimes are somehow linked, and a good bad girl may be the key to discovering the truth. Edith may have been tricked into a nursing home, but at 80 years young, she's planning her escape. Patience works there, cleaning up mess and bonding with Edith, a kindred spirit, but Patience is lying to Edith about almost everything. Edith's own daughter, Cleo, won't speak to her, and someone new is about to knock on Cleo's door, and their intentions aren't good. With every reason to distrust each other, the women must solve a mystery with 3 suspects, 2 murders, and 1 victim. If they do, they might just find out what happened to the baby who disappeared, the mother who lost her, and the connections that bind them. This one sounds super interesting. Like I said, I really enjoyed Daisy Darker, so I have high hopes for this thriller, and she is well known. She also did Rock, Paper, Scissors, which is on my TBR. So she is well known in the thriller world, and I expect nothing but good things from this. The next one on this list, which is another big thriller of the summer, and that is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And this one's coming out the 20th of July. She is known for her thriller books. I've read a few by her now, The Family Upstairs and Watching You, and I really enjoy it. I like her style. I always find that I flip through them like really quick, so they're like really fast paced. You really want to find out what's going on. I enjoy her writing style, so again, looking forward to this one and have high hopes. This one, celebrating her 45th birthday at a local pub, podcaster Alex Summer crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are in fact birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside Alex's childhood school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for Alex's series. She tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Alex agrees to a trial interview. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep digging. Slowly, Alex starts to realise that Josie has been hiding some very dark secrets, and before she knows it, Josie has invited her way into Alex's life and into her home. Soon she begins to wonder, who is Josie Fair and what has she done? I am super intrigued by that premise. I do like when you get different media mixed into books. I have read ones where like you got like a podcast episode, or at least part of it. So I'm kind of hoping you get little bits of that. But even if you don't, I love the idea of involving a bit of mixed media, investigating through kind of a podcast of what's going on. It sounds super intriguing and interesting. And yes, I kind of like how it's not immediate that there is a murder or somebody's died. It might be a thriller in a different way, because I do find that thrillers tend to involve always murders, or most of the time at least. So this one, at least, it's not set up to be a murder investigating one, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in this one. The next one up on this list is The List by Yomi Adetuke. She is a journalist and she has, I believe, released some non-fiction, but this is her first fiction debut book. On Goodreads, there's a little bit of a mixed kind of genres. So we do have fiction, contemporary, mystery, adult, thriller, mystery thriller. So it has one of those books that has a bit of a vibe of various different genres, and this one is set to be published on the 20th of July. So Ola, a high-profile journalist at Women magazine, is marrying the love of her life in 1 month's time. Young, beautiful, successful, she and her fiancé Michael are the couple's goals of their social networks and seem to have it all. That is, until one morning when they both wake up to the same message: have you seen the list? It began as a crowdsourced collection of names and somehow morphed into an anonymous account posting allegations on social media. Ola would usually be the first to support such a list. She retweeted it, called for the men to be fired, write article after article, except this time Michael's name's on it. Compulsively page turning. So yes, from the premise, I do get those kind of thriller mystery vibes, also contemporary, so it's gonna be interesting to see kind of exactly what genre this ends up coming under, since it seems to be several different ones. But I'm super intrigued because if Michael's on that list, that means he's done something to be on that list. And it's like, what has he done? And is she still going to marry him? What's going on? Is she going to investigate? I'm super intrigued. It looks super interesting. Yes, I cannot wait for this one to be out. Next one up is another thriller, guys. Surprise, surprise. I did say that there was a lot of them on this list. And that is The Honeymoon by Kate Gray. And this one is set to be published also on the 20th of July. I did say July seems to be like the month of thrillers. So this one, two happy couples, one dead body, a whole load of secrets. Married life wasn't meant to start like this. On honeymoon in Bali, you hit it off with another newlywed couple and celebrate your last night at a fancy cliffside restaurant. No one predicted the evening would end with a dead body, but it was an accident, right? A tragic accident. The honeymoon may be over, but it soon becomes clear that there's another side to this story, and your life depends on uncovering it. Many marriages can survive anything, but when it starts on a lie, is it really till death do us part? Super interesting. The cover is giving very much summer vibes. The fact it's set in Bali, honeymoon, it does very much feel like summer thriller. Super intriguing. Obviously we have the two couples, but what happened on this fateful last night? Is everyone telling the truth? I do love it when we get a couple couples, or it's also set in like a different destination, and this, like I said, summer vibe, so it seems absolutely perfect to come out in July, read it on your holiday in August. I think it's going to be really good. Next one on this list is actually a September release. Can you believe it, guys? They're finally a September one. And this is due to be published on the 21st of September, and it's You'd Look Better as a Ghost by Joanna Wallace. Again, this is the mystery thriller. It's categorized as. I like the cover, I like the title. It's giving me lots of intrigue on this one. So, I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die. Of course it helps that I'm the one killing them. The night after her father's funeral, Claire meets Lucas in a bar. Lucas doesn't know it, it's not a chance meeting. One thoughtless mistyped email has put him in the crosshairs of an extremely put out serial killer. But before they make eye contact, before Claire lets him buy her a drink, even before she takes him home and carves him up into little pieces, something about that night is very wrong. Because someone is watching Claire. Someone who's about to discover her murderous little hobby. The thing is, it's not sensible to tangle with a part-time serial killer. Even one who's distracted by attending a weekly bereavement support group and trying to get her art career off the ground. Let the games begin. Dexter meets Killing Eve in the superb thriller. So yes, this one sounds super intriguing. It's kind of given me a little bit of Sweet Pea vibes, which is what kind of drawn me to the synopsis of this one. I've got a feeling that of course it's going to be a thriller, it touches on serious topics, but I just have a feeling that it might just have a little bit of those kind of comedic vibes. I'm getting the feeling from synopsis that maybe we'll get that. I find it really interesting. So obviously we know what she does, who she is, but obviously someone else is going to discover it, and it just sounds really intriguing, and a kind of turning a thriller on its head a little bit, because we are like obviously following the killer. Okay guys, I had into my memory card. Positioning might have moved a little bit, but I have two left to do. One is a mystery, another one is romance, the only romance on this list. So I'm going to do the mystery first of all. Here is The Devil's Flute Murders by Seishi Yokomuzu, who is basically the Japanese Agatha Christie. So this released, by the time watching this, is already out, the 4th of July. So yes, they have over the last few years been translating these into English because it's been originally written in Japanese. And if I remember correctly, I think he did write around about the sort of similar time frame as Agatha Christie. So he is the Agatha Christie of Japan. He does these murder mysteries, super famous. I've read a few of them and I really enjoyed them, like the old school mystery murders, and I really like the setup. It's really great that they're finally translating these, but it just makes you wonder, why did it take them so long to translate them when he is quite clearly a hugely popular writer. But anyway, in the latest one that they've translated, so this is a locked room mystery. I think the last couple ones that I've read as well, they've been locked room mysteries by him. It seems to be his speciality. In this one we're following his fictional detective, Kosuke Kendachi. So this time he is investigating a series of gruesome murders within the feuding family of a brooding, troubled composer whose most famous work chills the blood of all who hear it. And that's all it says on this NetGalley synopsis, which is very short, very sweet, but I feel like you don't really need to know much more. So music is causing people to die, be murdered or something. I think it sounds really interesting. Love the kind of locked room murder mystery kind of vibes, and I think it'll be really, really good. So finally, the last one on this list, which like I said, is a romance, finally. I feel like romances are summer like vibes, but they tend to be released like May, June, like in time for people's holidays. Whereas thrillers, you do have those summery ones, but it's like they release them like July, so people pick them late summer or like early autumn before Halloween. I feel like there's some sort of rhyme and reason to like these trends, and maybe one day I'll look into it. But yes, only one romance for me on this list, and that is The Dance Deception by Becky Ward. And this is going to be released on the 3rd of August. So there's about to be a fire on and off the dance floor. Katie is astonished when she secures a place in a televisioned dance competition, especially as it means she'll be paired with a professional dancer to compete for a life-changing cash prize. When she's matched with gorgeous French dancer Merle, it quickly becomes clear that he's just as keen to work on their chemistry as their routine. But when the competition is rocked by scandal, Kate's forced to switch it to a new partner, Alexis, who is just as devastatingly attractive as Merle but seems to hate her. Despite the odds stacked against them, Kate is determined to win, convincing Alexis to embark on a showmance to try and win over the public. But what happens when Kate's feelings for her fake boyfriend become all too real? And how far will Merle go to sabotage her chances, both in the competition and in love? Sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. My favourite trope is enemies to lovers, like that hate, like the tension. So I think first of all it's good. Also it's a little bit of a triangle vibes going on here, competition, it's just such good vibes. It's just such good vibes. I think it's gonna be really good. Like I said, August. And that's it for this quarter's kind of my anticipated releases. It is the third one of the year, and can you believe it, guys? There's only one left of the year for me to do these. It does look already so far from what I've seen that there's going to be some pretty anticipated high big releases for me on that list. But anyway, let me know which of these you're looking forward to the most, or if there's any other releases coming out in the next 3 months that I should have on my radar. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye! The whole family are massive